For environmentalists, this is an abomination. Partially concealed by a shady grove at the Our Lady of Hope Cemetery in western Pennsylvania, the tanks and pipes to frack the Marcellus Shale. Whether on sanctified ground or not, a drilling bonanza is underway on this slab of rock stretching from New York through Pennsylvania into Ohio and West Virginia that contains vast stores of natural gas. However, there is a hollow amid the multiplying fracking wells, the city of Pittsburgh. Here, fracking is banned, and in 2011, the city passed its toxic trespass ordinance that asserted there was sufficient evidence that the chemicals used in fracking are harmful, and that corporations and local and national government will be held liable for chemicals and chemical compounds found to be trespassing on the bodies of residents of the city or into the ecosystems within Pittsburgh.
Things went so badly.
Doug Shields introduced that legislation because there seemed no way for citizens to stand up to energy corporations.
$28 million in industry contributions went directly in 6 years to the state legislature to get what they wanted. And we're being told at the local level, as we're becoming aware of this, well, you can't do anything about it. You're preempted. You can't regulate the industry. You can't do anything. You got to sit there and take it. And so I said, now I know what it feels like to be a resource colony. Whether it's Nigeria or some other third world country that's being exploited by multinational corporations.
But fracking chemicals don't respect city ordinances.
A study released this year by the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority found that the fracking surrounding the city is changing the composition of the Allegheny River that supplies Pittsburgh with its drinking water.
So will the city sue? The politicians backing the energy companies don't seem too concerned.
You know how many times we get sued? We get sued every day. We get sued when people walk up the steps and trip when it rains.
State Senator Jim Ferlo has introduced a bill for a moratorium on fracking while its impact is studied. He says the lure of revenue in hard times is simply too much for his state's politicians to resist.
A majority of the Senate Republicans, the House Republicans, the governor are owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Marcellus Shale industry, and they're not about protecting the public's interests.
Pittsburgh's ban on fracking was in part a result of outrage at the leasing of mineral rights on cemeteries within the city limits and fear of the possible consequences. But that hasn't stopped the municipalities surrounding the city from collecting their drilling royalties. Shihab, Rattansi, Jazeera, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.